They showed up peacefully and were still arrested. Someone up here with all your education, explain to me why they should be peaceful next time.
I want to share a couple clips from a Sacramento City Council meeting. Now, it may seem weird for me to, pull out some clips from a council meeting in Sacramento, but this is surrounding the murder of Stephon Clark. So Stephon Clark was murdered about a year ago by police. He was unarmed. He was holding a cell phone. He was in his grandma's backyard, and police murdered him because they thought his cell phone was a gun. Apparently, that was their excuse. Now, they recently got off completely. There were no charges laid against these cops, and the city rightfully protested. So they protested peacefully. 84 of them got arrested for protesting peacefully in Sacramento. And these couple clips are after those arrests happened. So I want to share these just because, look, this kind of stuff, I don't know about you, but it empowers me. Seeing people stand up to their city politicians and actually, voice their concerns and have the people have this movement behind them, this gives me strength. And I hope it does the same for you. So I want to share this first clip. This is Dr. Jane Manti, and she's talking about the racism in the police force, and ultimately that these cops need to be fired.
Y'all know what happened to Stephon Clark was wrong, morally wrong, ethically wrong, inhumane. That was someone's child. He was a human. He was a father. It was wrong. And y'all know that. Each one of y'all know it was wrong. Right. If it was your child, your friend, your people, your kin, that got shot like that in their granny's backyard, the very least you'd want is the folks who did it to only have a badge or a gun to do it again. Howard, I'm Jane. You got the power, man. Do your job. Let them go. They ain't going to jail, and that's fine. I know my time's up soon, so y'all gotta tell me I hear you. Do it. You don't gotta keep them on the force. Hire somebody new. My dream is that, to be honest, that we don't have police. That we don't need police.
And your 3 minutes is complete.
That we can fund other ways to prevent crime, give folks housing, give them food, give them water, give them work. I know, Mindy, I'm about to go. That one day we don't need police. But right out here, and those two have shown they don't need to be on the force. Let them go. Thank you.
So Dr. Jane Manti here speaks to an issue that, this should be obvious. These cops shot and murdered an unarmed black man, and they still have their job. I don't know how you possibly defend this. You have, it's clear that there's tape of what happened. These cops, because of their own racism, that's all this is. Because they saw a black man and they thought he was holding a gun because he's a black man, they shot and killed him. Imagine if it was a white woman. Would they have shot and killed a white woman in a backyard holding her cell phone? Really? Is that what you think? It's obvious that there is an issue here where, because cops have this inherent, look, a lot, not just cops, everybody has biases and preconceived notions of how they view the world. But a lot of people have this racism, this subconscious racism, this unconscious racism, where they don't realize they are being racist, but they are being racist. Because whether it's the media, how they grew up, the people around them, whatever it is, they see a young black man and they're more scared than they would be if it was anybody else. That's how this all works. That's how these internal biases, that's how it works. People don't even realize they have it, but they have it. But when you have a cop kill an unarmed black man and get away with it, the least you can do as a city is get rid of those two cops that were in this situation. That's the least you could do. Now, I want to show this next clip here. This is Kevin Boltz. So this is following the announcement that, the officers wouldn't be charged. And not only that, but this was following the 84 protesters, because he's specifically speaking to those protesters. this is about the 84 protesters that were arrested for protesting peacefully.
Hello, everybody. I want to start by addressing something you said when you came right back in. You said if we acted in the fashion we did again, this meeting could not go on. Yet multiple people have been killed by these motherfuckers and Stephon. It has, no, shut up. It has continued to go on. So you care more about decorum in here than you do people who are alive. Because you shut down meetings over decorum. Stop looking at me like that. You're so immature. But you haven't shut them down over killing people. My journey with Sacramento killing black people began with Joseph Mann, a human being in need of emergency medical attention. He was instead met with the care of SAC PD in the form of "fuck this guy, I'm gonna hit him," Officer Tennis. Last year, Stephon Clark, a human being regardless of accused activities, toxicology reports, or relationship status, was a human being with a Fourth Amendment right, who instead was criminalized due to his race and murdered in a state-sanctioned execution. You can't even look at me, I'm so right. Last evening, I watched an overfunded and hyper-militarized force, not police, occupational force, agitate protesters, instill fear and panic, and then kettle them in a classic kettle and corral tactic, which, by the way, was started in the open-air prison known as Palestine by Israeli police and taught to our police all over this country. How much we pay to learn that? The underlying factor of all these cases is SAC law enforcement dehumanizes people on our dollars and with your agreement. When was the last time you were dehumanized? Because I think it's about time. You have shown zero ability to empathize with us. You have shown less ability to care. You are all terrible officials, in my opinion, worse people. To quote Dr. King, a riot is the language of the unheard, and you ain't fucking listening. The last person who spoke before the singer said Anne-Marie Schubert has no soul. To quote Stokely Carmichael, in order for peaceful protest to work, your overseer has to have a conscience. You don't have one. You radicalized 84 people on a bridge last night for no reason. They showed up peacefully and were still arrested. Someone up here with all your education explain to me why they should be peaceful next time. What is the onus? What is the impetus? You fucked them up when they were peaceful. You don't get it. You don't listen. You think it's gonna stay like this. And I'm gonna start right here with saying, I don't speak for anyone else or any group out here. This city's gonna burn in the next 30 to 60 days if you don't shut up and listen. Shut it down!
So again, that was Kevin Boltz. And look, this shows you that people are empowered and educated. You didn't really have this before. Thanks to, the internet, people are more educated now than ever. They know what is going on. They understand. So when you have 84 protesters, peaceful protesters, get arrested because of the police escalating the situation, because of what they did, you're going to have people stand up and they're going to keep fighting. You can't expect people to remain peaceful when you arrest them when they are peaceful. Again, as Kevin Boltz said here, why would they continue to be peaceful if they're going to get arrested anyways? This is why it is so important for people to be involved in what is going on. So, look, I only pulled out 2 citizens here, but there were so many people telling their stories at the Sacramento City Hall and discussing, look, essentially all have the same view here. The people understand that you have these politicians and the police working together against the people. Politicians and the cops are supposed to be there to protect the people. They are there to work for the people. But that's not what's happening. When you have an unarmed black man get killed by cops and those cops are still in the force, these people are clearly not there to protect you. So how can you expect them to trust the cops? And after Kevin Boltz gave this speech and a number of people were there saying similar things, a few days later, the district attorney drops charges against 84 people arrested in East Sacramento Stephon Clark protest. So hopefully, I imagine this town hall added to the potential for the DA to drop these charges. So again, getting involved does do something. It does create changes. Now, just one last thing here. Look, if you're a cop, wouldn't you want these people to be charged? Wouldn't you want the bad cops to be dealt with? I mean, it brings the entire force down. It brings everybody down. This is something I don't get. If I'm working with somebody in a business and they suck at their job, why would I want to protect them? If somebody is shitty, why would I want that shitty person to represent me? You want to be able to weed out the people that are crappy in whatever workplace it is, especially if you're a cop, because this reflects on you. You could be a great person, you could be a great cop, but because you have shitty people on the force with you and you allow them to be there and you don't fight back against it, you don't speak out against it, what happens? You get labeled just as everybody else, just as you get labeled as one of the shitty ones. That's what ends up happening. No real change is made because you're not willing to stand up and fight. And look, I understand the internal pressures that there are. There's going to be these internal pressures where, look, if you rat somebody out, then you're looked at as the rat. But isn't it crazy that we're reviewing the police force as gangs? Isn't that crazy that you're a rat if you tell on your fellow officer who may be committing, abuse of force or whatever they're doing? Like, it's the whole dialogue around this conversation is just so weird to me. It's juvenile and it's dangerous, and it is just like a gang. When the internal dynamics of the police force operate in the same way that gangs do, I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you why so many people don't trust the cops. If you want to be able to improve that, if you want people to view you better, you don't do that by knocking more heads. You do that by actually taking steps to change how the system works so people can be able to see the results of a police force that actually represents the community, that actually is there to fight for the people and not against them. So again, the reason I'm showing this is because seeing people stand up, seeing citizens stand up to their city officials, to me is so empowering. If you have anything happening, in your city, anything similar like this, just be aware that if you get involved and you speak out, change can and does happen.